Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Schmidt Campbell, Dean of the Tisch School of the Arts, who will present the student speaker representing the undergraduate candidates.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Robert J. Sukrachand from the Tisch School of the Arts. Bobby has been an outstanding student in the Department of Photography and Imaging, as well as one of the university's first Catherine B. Reynolds Scholars in social entrepreneurship. With 3 other photography and imaging students, Bobby co-founded Immediacy, a community-based media organization dedicated to giving a voice to the marginalized and powerless in our society. Among projects, Immediacy has produced a photographic documentary about a community of men and women living on the streets of Jackson Heights, Queens. Bobby has received global awards and fellowships, including grants for his documentary photography, recognition as one of 250 young leaders in the world for social innovation, and selection as one of 100 emerging photographers worldwide. Bobby will address the graduates, their families and friends, and all of the honored guests here today on behalf of the undergraduate candidates graduating this morning.
President Sexton, Dean Campbell, family, friends, and fellow graduates. As a visual artist, I never imagined that I would be speaking at a university commencement. Far more unbelievable to me, however, is that 2 diehard Boston Red Sox fans, myself and Lawrence Tribe, are being welcomed to offer remarks here on the hallowed grounds of Yankee Stadium. Do not fear, however, I am not here to cause trouble. Regardless of any personal loyalties I may have, I am tremendously honored to be celebrating the accomplishments of NYU's class of 2008, here in this mecca of baseball. The great comedian George Carlin once observed that the beauty of the game of baseball lies in its simple objective: to get home, to cross home plate safely. So, what might a New York City home look like? For me, home during my sophomore year was a decaying 6-bedroom apartment in Chinatown. Those familiar with this apartment are probably laughing right now because we were a profoundly eccentric household comprised of a Filipino, a Colombian, a Thai, a Madagascaran, a Long Island Jew, and a long-haired, slow-speaking Oregonian nomad. We had an actor, a filmmaker, 2 photographers, a music producer, a graffiti writer, and a guy in pre-law whom the rest of us artists could not relate to at all. He was also a Yankees fan. Sorry, my hat keeps falling off. He's become one of my closest friends. Our apartment had an excess of subletters of the rodent and insect variety, perpetually clogged bathrooms and leaky ceilings, and we lived below a Chinese dance studio. And every Sunday, without fail, we would all be awakened at 6 a.m. to the sound of gong, gong, followed by several hours of persistent Chinese melodies. Whether you lived in a dorm for 4 years, subletted a room in a rundown Williamsburg loft, or commuted daily from Jersey City, you undoubtedly encountered the idiosyncrasies of living New York. The relentless intensity of this city, its tightly packed, rush hour subway rides, ambulance sirens and deafening garbage trucks zooming by at all hours of the night, remind us that home is never a place where we exist alone, but a habitat that we share, made richer by the lives of others. Other people's cultures, belief systems, and ways of life have become integrated into our own homes. And in no place is this phenomenon more apparent than here in New York. Hop on the 7 train to Jackson Heights or Flushing, and you might as well be studying abroad. Walking the city streets is a lesson in sociology, economics, and multiculturalism, as well as one of alienation and uncertainty. At the same time, in no other place are complete strangers as honest and straightforward about what they think of you as here in New York. To all of the parents in the audience, if you are asking yourselves why you spent a small fortune for your son or daughter to gallivant around New York City for the last 4 years, be reassured, our academic lives were just as intense and eventful. For many of us, our most important memories of life at NYU will be of the close relationships we have formed with professors and other students. I will always remember the many late nights with my colleagues in the dark rooms of the photography department at Tisch. Other parts of our studies directly engage the city that surrounds us, no matter what school or department we hail from. My photography brought me close to a community of people in Queens who taught me that even a street corner can be a home, and a convivial, thought-provoking one at that. See, an NYU education does not just take place in a classroom. It can only be described as layered, constant, complex. We learn from our peers. We learn while in our apartments and our dorms. We learn from the city and its diverse inhabitants. We have been taught that life need not be dictated by divides, that home can be everywhere. It can even be in the mundane, the alienating, and the disconcerting moments of our lives. Fellow graduates, this home that we have shared for the past several years has become a part of us. And as both Frank Sinatra and the Cap 21 studio just beautifully sang for us, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So as we depart Yankee Stadium today and begin asking ourselves, what's next? Or how am I going to get home? Or as Mel asked, how am I going to be bold? We can find comfort in the fact that we have been changed, that New York City and NYU have opened us up to the world. And they have become our homes. And home is not a destination. It is the journey that we have all undertaken. So remember, rounding the bases of the baseball diamond is just as important as sliding in to home plate. Thank you to all of our friends, family members, and mentors for your support and encouragement, and congratulations to us all. Thank you.